Your beliefs are just stories. They're not true. They don't create your reality, they influence it because you're not aware of them. In other words, they limit your experience because you believe the stories of your mind. You identify falsely with your body mind. In other words, being this physical body and the voices, the thoughts, the thinking. So your body mind is your tool to interact with the world, to have an experience. But it's not you. In your life, your thoughts have been changing 50, 60,000 times per day. Your feelings in your body constantly change. Your body changes. Your experiences changes all the time in every moment. It means that all these things are not you because they change all the time. They come and go. The only thing that was there the whole time is you, the knower of the thoughts, of the feelings in the body, and of the experiences. So you're the knowing, not the thoughts, the feelings, and the experiences themselves. And knowing is being aware of. The only thing you've ever done in your life is knowing thoughts, feelings, and experiences. You've never actually been those things. You've only known them or made aware of them. So if the only thing you've ever, quote unquote, done is being aware, it means you are the awareness. You're the knower of those things. But it's not you. And when you wake up from believing all the stories of your mind, which is anchored in a central story of you being born with a name, with a physical body from this parent and developing this personality and then accumulating all this information, all this knowledge about the world and all these stories that were reinforced, these limiting beliefs, which are just more stories, then you wake up and you realize that all of these are just stories. It's just information. So all your life, you've been aware of information, thoughts, feelings, experiences. You could say they are information. You have never changed. Information constantly changes. So you've been the awareness, the witness of that happening from a single point of view. And everyone has a different point of view. But when you realize, truly, all these stories are just stories that your mind took because of the central stories of you being a separate self outside of love, because your parent taught you that love was conditional and it created an emotional shock, and then you started thinking to survive in this world because you realized that your needs were not going to be met. You were not going to feel love all the time. So it became very emotional, very confusing at a very early age. You start thinking all the time to make sure you would survive. But you falsely identify with that thinking. It became your personality, which you think is you, attached to that body. The thought, the personality, you, all of this thing, you think it's you, but it's just a story. And when you practice meditation or these practices of awareness like investigation, investigating your own feeling, or self-inquiry, you realize that you're just awareness, that all this time, the central stories and all these sub-stories were obstructing the truth that sets you free, the truth that you're never gonna find peace and happiness in those stories outside of yourself, in experiences, because these things constantly change. They come and go all the time. You cannot control them. That's another illusion of the mind, the thinking mind that wants to survive, control. Peace and happiness is you under all those things. And the portal to enter the truth of peace and happiness is stillness and silence. And every spiritual teachers have talked and written about this for hundreds of years. Stillness and silence. Again, think about what these things are. They are peace itself. So if you want to find peace, you have to be peace. You have to mimic it to become it. And then you realize that it was there the whole time. It was like the ground before life became an emotional, shocking experience. And then you develop that thinking mind and that story that you've been carrying and attaching to countless stories that reinforce that personality, so that you can have a personality which is just a coping and protective mechanism to live and survive in a very confusing and emotional world. You're not any of those things. You're the silence between the words, between the thoughts. And you've been awareness itself the whole time.